Hello, welcome to Larry Bodine Live, where we talk to people about their talents and how they put them to use for a higher purpose. And today we have with us Teresa Gerschutz. How are you today, Teresa?
Hi, Larry. I'm well. Thank you.
She's also a middle school teacher, and she's a precincts committee leader in precinct number 239 in the area of Craycroft and Sunrise. And Teresa, I found you because I heard about these get out the vote cards that you give out. Tell me about that.
I just made up these small cards with all the information. So when we register people to vote, that they share this information with their friends. And then on the back, we put, if you have questions about voter registration and where to go, and I gave the recorders information on the back. And I would like to share, Larry, if I may.
Sure.
I met an adult education teacher, and I also have taught adult education. And I asked her, would you like to take a pile of these cards and share them with your students? And I also have a handyman who teaches adult education. And he said, yes. He said, not only do we help people register to vote, but we also make sure, help them, encourage them to get out there to go on voting day. So
I think that's so brilliant and so practical too, that, I'm sure it makes a difference. Now, one of the things you mentioned to me earlier about what you enjoy, you get energy from people, and that you started a little neighborhood association and you held happy hours.
Begins with local politics. Did I ever fall in love with this? Because not only was I meeting new neighbors and friends, but I was learning all about local politics. I have a degree in political science, but I did not know Arizona politics. It was exciting for me. A wonderful group of folks who run LD9. I had this awesome leadership guiding me. I was able to invite candidates, and I got to meet all these candidates. And
how cool is that?
I know, but am I glad I did? I've had Ann Kirkpatrick to my house. Victoria Steele, Senator Steele, came and spoke to us. Pamela came, Dr. Freeze came. They came multiple times. I learned that as my crowds became bigger, that I could invite more than one candidate at a time. And that worked well.
I've got to imagine that was really helpful for the candidates.
I remember Ann asking me to invite her back. And Pamela, every time I pick up the phone, she wants to know, I'm ready for another one. She's ready for everything, every time. No, I love it. My neighbors loved it as much as I did. And by word of mouth, I grew. I did no advertising. And right now on my mailing list, I have over 80 neighbors.
That's fantastic. That's great.
Yeah, and I live in a small 1,700 square foot home, but we pile in, and if we're lucky, we can open the patio door and stroll outside. So I'm trying to create new ideas. I'm preparing to do some Zoom happy hours. It won't be the same, but we do what we can.
That sounds great. Be sure to send me an invitation.
I would love that. Thank you.
So why is this work important? You were telling me it's an important time right now. Why is that?
Our current president is a national security risk.
Yep.
I felt that this was our Hitler. This was our time, given the nature of man, given the nature of his behavior. And then after I started learning more about local politics, I recognized we have a problem locally too. And that's why I stress the importance of bringing in and introducing our local elected officials. The recorder's office is so important.
Oh, yeah.
One of my biggest fears, Larry, is that if a Republican gets elected in there, would that person suppress votes?
Possibly. This is why I'm out there working for Democrats too.
And we've seen the effects of voter suppression in Georgia, Wisconsin. It is real.
You're someone who recruits volunteers. If there's somebody who's thinking about becoming a volunteer or perhaps a donor, what do you tell them?
I tell them, do what you can. I have neighbors who tell me I can give an hour. And I said, just imagine if everybody gave an hour. I have stepped out of my comfort zone, which is fine. I'm always willing to grow. To become a new volunteer, you need to do it your way and do what you can.
You know, and we're so fortunate, as you mentioned, to live in Legislative District 9, where the leadership just comes up with all sorts of great ideas, and a lot of them are a lot of fun, you know.
Well, anybody who wants to volunteer, I encourage them to come down to our meetings, to our monthly meetings, and meet the leadership and hear these wonderful other volunteers and recognize what we have, recognize what a valuable group we are.
Well, you know, bear in mind that you're an inspiration. You know, you're doing really important work. From what I can see, you're making a big difference.
Oh, thank you, Larry. I just would like to encourage others to do what they can, do a little bit of phone banking, little leaf dropping. People love the postcards. I miss the postcard parties, but we're still getting them out there, and help us win.
We're brother and sister in arms when it comes to turning Arizona blue.
Yes.
So I want to thank you so much for being on the program. You really are an inspiration, and thanks very much. And we'll see you around the neighborhood.
Oh, thanks, Larry.
All right. Bye-bye, Teresa.
Bye.